Welcome to Shape Your Life, the show that keeps you informed with health-related matters. I'm Ronald Abviji. Today we'll be looking at financial stress and the impact it can have in our lives. Here's a look at what else we have got lined up for you. In our show today, new tech for diabetes testing, the impact of financial stress, and the cost-effective way to diet and exercise. Another interesting show on the cards for you, and without dilly-dallying much, here's your health news for today.
Scientists have designed a sweatband that can measure blood sugar levels on a person's body without the need for a blood prickly test. The device is set to contain sensors that measure the sugar levels from the sweat released on the upper arm of a person. The device then transfers the information to a handheld device to display the levels. A study on the device showed that the armband was able to get accurate results just like the normal blood test, and helping those with diabetes who need regular testing on their sugar levels. One doesn't need to exercise to use the device. In fact, it can be used while asleep. Once a person straps it on, it's able to gather enough sweat to measure the sugar levels in just 15 minutes. A health warning has been announced for those people who like to use herbal medicine. Study authors from the University of Stellenbosch here at home said that there are multiple dangers of using herbal medicine, as some work in contrast to actual medication. Those who seemed affected by these are cancer patients who have seen their drugs stop working after drinking ginseng energy drinks. Transplant patients have had their new kidneys rejected after taking chamomile, and people with HIV have seen the virus levels in their blood soar after taking ginkgo supplements. The authors based their study on 49 case reports and additional studies of 15 cases that found the middle-aged and the elderly to be at risk. It advised that one should consult with their pharmacist or doctor before taking herbal medicine so they can determine the impact it may have on an illness and avoid having side effects.
Financial stress can impact your body and mind's well-being. We spoke to psychiatrist Dr. Zana Marovic from the South African Depression and Anxiety Group on the effects of financial stress. Zana, thank you so much for your time and joining us on Shape Your Life.
Sure.
How common is stress, especially associated with financial stress as the main cause in South Africa?
It's actually staggering statistics. I prepared some to share with you. So the first thing, what I want to say, in the world, in the United States, they have a report on 75% of adults at some point of their life having either moderate to severe stress, so we're talking like serious statistics. Another one said that 80% of people that visit the GP is actually related to stress. 80% of employees are stressed. Now let's look at the statistics about financial in particular. 70% of people that are stressed would be stressed about the finances. And then another 50 would be stressed about their inability to meet obligations around paying their house debt.
That is staggering. So we're looking at, on average, 20, 30 million people in South Africa.
Yes.
That are dealing with this each and every day.
So what I also want to say is there are some very worrying statistics about suicides and depression in the people in the category of people that are struggling financially. So there was an interesting research which has quite a worrying statistics, which said that quite a large, I just want to see, they were saying in KwaZulu-Natal, this study recorded that the single unemployed black young male is in the highest risk of a suicide related to financial problems and just generally feeling like there is no meaning in his life, he can't really make it in this world.
But what about the other end of the spectrum? For those that want to avoid when they have debt obligations, during the month, are there different phases where the stress levels are literally higher because you have to pay back?
Absolutely. So it would be, what you generally find is that, the beginning of the month, people get their salaries and that's when they're happier. One of the problem is when you don't have much, the attitude can be, let me just spend what I have, I don't care, which is really a bad attitude. So trying to actually budget is very important, trying to understand how to make your money go all the way, instead of like splashing everything in the beginning and then towards the end getting extremely stressed, not even having for your food or for your child's school lunch or things like that.
But surely then it boils down to being honest with oneself and accepting the reality of the situation.
Now that is the biggest issue.
And that's a difficult thing to do for many people.
And not only with yourself. So I had some seriously disturbing stories, some families that saw me where the man would commit suicide. And, situations, I had also family where they didn't have a clue that their husband, the husband of the family, was bankrupt. The next thing, they had these people that came to take their furniture, everything from their house. They were told, now you need to get out. Everything was gone. And he didn't have ability to speak to his wife and to his family and tell them what has happened to him. So one of the issues is, first, people struggle to be honest with themselves, so they keep postponing and avoiding the issue, and somehow the magic will happen and I'll get out of this. Not a good idea. And the second one is they don't actually get out of that closet of I have financial problems. They keep quiet and then their families and nobody, they don't get support, they don't get advice, nobody sits around the table, let's try and resolve this together, and then you destroy your life and other people's lives.
So would you classify or categorize those individuals as being dealing with stress? Stress became distress, distress became depression, and depression became that hopelessness where they feel there's no other option.
Yes. And some people avoid, and what happens is because in social situations, especially in Joburg, you can see people go around, they want to show off the way they dress, their cars, they talk about the money. So if you're one of those that struggles, what's going to happen is you're going to start also avoiding. So you avoid your family and try and lock yourself, just watch TV, not speak to anybody because you're worried that you don't want to say what's happening and you feel your confidence is low, you don't feel like a provider. If you go out with your friends, what's going to happen is they may talk about the things that make you feel again incompetent. So people start avoiding more and more situations that actually are places where you could potentially get support, discuss your problems and get some advice. So you do everything that actually even more sabotages you rather than helps you.
Zana, what is your final pearl of wisdom to our viewers out there who are dealing with a lot of financial stress in the beginning of the year to be proactive and to have hope to say it's not the end of the road?
I wanted to just mention one thing which I thought is a little bit of giving people hope. So I want to read to you a few people. President of the United States, Donald Trump. Filmmaker, Walt Disney. Henry Ford, founder of the Ford industry. Larry King, TV and host show. Francis Ford Coppola, famous movie director. Marvin Gaye, actor. And Steve Jobs, founder of Apple. All of these men had been bankrupt and they made it and they are very successful today. So what I would like audience to know is that no matter in what position you are, if you don't give up, if you make small steps and you keep working on it, you can also make it. If they did it, we all can do it.
On that note, thank you so very much. A positive note to end off on, but it boils down to taking the action and not just focusing on the theory.
Positive action.
Thank you so much, Zana. Thank you for joining us and sharing this expert information and these relevant stats to let people realize they're not alone in dealing with financial stress.
Thank you so much.
We're going to take a short break, and when we return, we show you how you can use your body to exercise. After the break, we discuss financial well-being further and healthy eating, the cost-effective way. Stay tuned.